Hey, what's up, everybody? Offsides Podcast. What's going on, people? How y'all doing today?
Love, man.
Pete, how you doing, man? How was the weekend, bro? Hey, you look like you had a good time.
Yeah, I had too much of a good time, bro.
No
Hey,
such thing,
Yeah, a lot
y'all.
of people, a lot of people came from out of town. It was official, man. Appreciated everybody coming through. Yeah, they caught me, man. So I got a surprise party. But yeah, recovered, finally recovered. But yeah, man, I'm ready for this weird week because there's no football. You know what I'm saying? So just waiting to get through the weekend, and then we're in Super Bowl week, and then back to normal for at least the last one more week. Not
bro,
one more game until September. So
I know. Well, let's get to it, right? Because might as well let's rip the Band-Aid off. All right.
yeah,
We had two good games. You know what I'm saying? I thought one was better than the other, the Lions and 49ers. But we talking about the Chiefs and Ravens first. Chiefs beat the Ravens at home to go to the Super Bowl. Was the loss more the Ravens' fault or the Chiefs just more effective? I'm gonna start with Pete first. Then I'll go and I let the Ravens fan go last, so he could tell us how he really feel like the mad rapper.
the the I think what stands out and what should tell you who's more at fault is if the Baltimore running backs didn't have double-digit carries, then that's a problem right there, yo. They're a running team, and not just Lamar running, because they lost J.K. Dobbins early. They plugged in Justice Hill. They plugged, Gus Edwards, and they're a running team, and for them to have so few carries in a playoff game at home, I mean, the Chiefs didn't do anything to really lose it, but the Ravens were not the Ravens we've been accustomed to all year. I put this squarely on the Ravens, man. All 100% on them.
I will tell you, man, I was frustrated. Okay, June could tell you if he was here because we was on Zoom. We was on Zoom. I sent a link out just in case y'all wanted to get on, but I know you was gonna be recovering. You was.
I wasn't for the first game. I wasn't even here. I got home at halftime.
Oh yeah. So look.
Yeah, I got home at halftime.
So I sent the link out, right, just in case, and we stay on Zoom the whole time, man. And so, because I'm watching it on cable, I'm a lot faster than Bree and June because they're watching on YouTube TV. So I'm over here cursing at the TV, bro, and I'm cursing like it's the Patriots playing, bro. Like I'm in this, bro, like what the, and I'm going off, and I'm going off, and I'm gonna tell you, man, I think the Chiefs knew they couldn't beat them unless they got in their head psychologically. And I go even to the beginning of the warm-ups when they kicked their boys' helmet and the ball's out the way, real disrespectful at home. And freaking Travis Kelce bogus self talking about Mahomes want to warm up over here. So we're gonna move it. Like I think that set the tone, and I think that mentally they got into the Ravens' head because I think it was James that pointed out they only ran the ball, what, 6 times, 10 times total?
11, dog. 11
times.
total.
And we all know the Chiefs were like one of the worst teams against the rush. So why didn't you I mean, I would have pounded it with Gus and Hill, and then threw the ball where you wanted to. I felt like they made Lamar one dimensional trying to throw the ball. I definitely put this on the Ravens. The Chiefs didn't do anything great. What they did, what Mahomes did was manage the game. If we're being honest, he managed the game. He didn't make the mistakes. He hasn't thrown a pick in a while. He finally took his first sack since the AFC Championship game in the playoffs last year against the Ravens. And, he was getting rid of the ball. He was taking what the defense was giving him. The Ravens let Kelce cook. Like, I was so frustrated.
Yeesh.
And it just upset me because I'm a big Gronkowski fan. And they had this guy out here thinking he's the greatest thing since sliced cheese. And I said, bro, I like Kittle more than I like you. But that's because I like that style of tight end. But the one thing that had me upset, hands down, was the refs. And I know the Ravens didn't lose the game over some calls. I get that. But like for when Van Noy bumped into Kelce, he didn't headbutt him on purpose. He bumped into him, right? They throw the flag, and while Kelsey's there clapping and talking shit to him, the ref is right there. You don't throw a taunting. You don't throw nothing. But Zay Flowers does a nice catch, pushes the kid off because he was still on his legs, spins the ball, and taunting. They went from the 10 to the 20. And I think then after that, the fumble happened, right? He fumbled the ball. Then the pass interference that they didn't call against Odell when he was running up the field. Then even when he threw the pick in the end zone to Likely, that was a pass interference because receivers entitled to come back to the ball. And he wasn't allowed to because the dude pushed him down. So it was like, to me, and the ball wasn't batted. So I could get it, the ball was tipped or batted at the line. That's different, but it wasn't. I think the refs missed some crucial plays there. But at the end of the day, for the Ravens not to be able to overcome, what was it, a 7-point lead? You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't a high-scoring game at all. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. That's what tells me that the Chiefs really, the game plan was simple. Don't mess the game away and cause them to make mistakes. But I'm gonna pass it off to James now, man. So tell him why you mad.
Man, so one, we already touched on it. It's no way in hell. You're the number one rushing offense in the league, and you only get 11 carries, dog. It's just, how do you establish yourself as the best team in the league and then do that? One, that's off rip. Two, the short game attack was none, and like why are we throwing bombs every other play when we're, like you said, it was 14-7 first half. I know this sounds cliche. They didn't beat us. We beat ourselves, bro.
Absolutely.
17, scored 14 points in the first half and 3 in the second half. Like, the defense, kudos to the defense, man. Like you said, the Chiefs are a team, you got to expect the calls to go in their favor, period. But even with the calls in their favor, they only put up 17. That means there's only one person to blame, or one group of people to blame, the offense. We shitted the game away, bro. Like, literally and figuratively, we shitted it away. Lamar, I think we fumbled. Lamar had the fumble in the first half. Like, come on, bro. You one of the best, running quarterbacks in the league. It was a play. I don't know if y'all seen it. He gets out the pocket. He breaks it for about 15, 20, and then stops. I was like, what? Like, that's a touchdown normally, bro. I don't know what's going on, but I think, like you said in the beginning, they were in their heads, bro. Like, they were in our heads. They come to Baltimore in 38 degrees and took the game from us like that, bro. Like, I'm still in disbelief. I'm not even a conspiracy theorist. I'm like, who paid Lamar? Like, what is going on, bro? Like, this is crazy, bro. Like, if you watch the game, no short attack at all. Like, it was either a bomb or Lamar scrambling through the pocket. I think the second play of the game, he dropped back like 20 yards. And I'm like, what is this? What is going on, bro? This is the second to worst Russian defense in the league. And we couldn't get nothing on the ground. It's a bust. Like, it's literally the most disappointing playoff run for an MVP candidate, one, and two, the best offensive rushing team in the league, and then to look like that against the Chiefs, dog. And I said it, Patty Mahomes, the most dangerous quarterback in the playoffs, because this dude, man, like you said, it's not about him being great. It's managing the little things. I'm guaranteeing that gameplay was like this. Listen, don't let him get nothing on the ground. Rough him up a little bit. We saw Kelsey being, disrespectful throughout the whole game. Some of their defensive linemen were fucking with our guys. I'm like, they're in our heads, and that's one of the tactics you got to be able to be ready for when it comes playoff time. They're gonna try to get an advantage any way they know how, and they got it. They definitely, and you got to credit Kansas City, man. This dude's been to 6 straight AFC championship games, and now this dude's in the Super Bowl again, bro. Like, he got the recipe, dog. Sometimes the recipe is a couple ingredients: salt, pepper, garlic, and that motherfucker's in there, dog.
They have, when we talk about winning, and this is where I give them credit, but we saw it already. This ain't new. It's just new in the time span that he's done it. But it isn't new because Raiders went to 5, I want to say, then Patriots went to 8 straight. You know what I'm saying? But it's in the time frame he's doing. His first 6 years, he's been to 6. So that's kind of like, that's unheard of. But I will say this. Winning is not just the players on the team. It's also the coaching and the organization, the GM and the owner, right? And they just have continuity. They have chemistry. And when I look at him pull these games out his ass like he did, because MVS wasn't catching nothing all year. The same pass he dropped against, I forgot who it was, the Eagles, I think.
Philly. It was against Philly.
Yeah, the
Philly.
Eagles. It's the same pass he caught now when it mattered, right? It reminds me a lot of the Pats when the Pats didn't really have those big name wide receivers. They found a way to win by not giving the game away, not making the mistakes. Yeah, and you get there and you're like, man, and consistency and chemistry and continuity works, right? I'm gonna tell you straight up, I think what helped them on the offensive side of the Chiefs was Kelsey's 11 for 11, bro. Like when Kelsey's on fire like that, but if you would have took Kelsey out the game, I think it's a whole different ball game because now those wide receivers don't got to just make one play; they got to make several plays. And Rashid Rice was doing his thing, but it wasn't like that. You know, speaking about, I guess we could just talk about it now. Then Lamar's they've been getting at him on everywhere because a lot of people are saying, is he the truth? Is he that person? Can he be that person? Is he like another? I don't want to say Peyton, but for a while Peyton couldn't get out of the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? As regular season, 5 MVPs, but come to the playoffs, he was struggling. I'm gonna start with Pete on this one. Uh, Lamar. What's your take on Lamar? Can you count on him? Do you think this is going to be him consistently, or do you think that this is just one of his stepping stones as he gets better?
I think I said it on the play call, maybe my first time with y'all. Only one quarterback can win each year. There's only one. And you hear a lot of people talking about, oh, well, this guy hasn't won anything. Well, there's only one a year. It's only one. So like we're not gonna sit here and because I believe him and Josh Allen are very similar, that they keep on coming up short in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But are we gonna sit here and say that they're trash? No, they're both top tier quarterbacks in the league, both of them. Look, they may be 1-2 in MVP voting, but look, they're running into Mahomes, man. Mahomes is like we said, he went to 6 straight. And from them 6 straight games, he's gone to, this is his 4th, right? Super Bowl. Joe Burrow went the other time. And I'm drawing a blank on who went the other time. It must have, Brady. Brady went the first time he went to the championship game. It was Brady, then him, then Burrow. And that's like, if you can't get past Mahomes, and this is the last 6 years, only 2 guys have done it. That's why Lamar and Josh Allen haven't been able to get over the hump. Allen lost to Burrow last year. So, but getting back to the question, it sucks for them because they got to wait another year to kind of prove it to themselves and to everybody else. They got to wait a whole freaking year. Not even the regular season, because we know they could play in the regular season. We got to see what they do in the playoffs. So I think jury's still out, man. Jury's still out. He's a great player, man. Had a bad game at the worst time, man. I think that's what it all comes down to. But they gotta get thicker skin, and when them lights get bright, they gotta step it up, man, because it's gonna get to the narrative's gonna get to them like, yo, they're gonna be. I think Puba brought it to me and said, yo, these guys are looking like Dan Marino right now.
Yeah.
This generation's Dan Marino, great quarterback, but couldn't get to the big one, man. Or couldn't win the big one because he got to one, but
Yeah. He never went back. He took it for granted that first time.
Exactly.
James, what's your take, man?
Yeah, I feel like P, man, he's a generational talent, bro. There's no denying that. The common denominator, Patrick Mahomes. Like we can't sit and act like this dude's trash when, like you said, last 6 years in the AFC Championship, we've seen that guy. So until somebody gets over that hump, it's hard to judge and say they ain't got it. It's just, this guy's figured it out. I will say that when you don't go, or when you get that high and don't go, the next year is even tough. It's no easier. Like people have figured you out. Once again, now people are gonna be testing them, finding ways to get an edge. Bro, like you got to take advantage of every opportunity because, like we said, it's only one guy. One guy wins it every year, right? One football team can only win the NFL championship every year. So the little fuse gets shorter and shorter, and you start throwing in stuff like injuries, coaching staff, defense. Like they had an amazing defense this year. how many of those pieces come back, and then those are factors, man. Like so Lamar could be amazing next year, but what if your defense ain't top notch again? Then you looking good again, and it all falls down on the star. Like the defense could be suck, Lamar could be great, but guess what they're gonna say? Oh, Lamar fails to get there again. It's gonna be on him. So he's got to realize that hey, it's on me, even if it ain't on me. So next year is gonna be crazy, man. He gonna have to damn near lead the QB position in every damn category. Because right now we looked at it, right? Everybody everybody hit me up because I said, hey, at this point, and I know it's a regular season award, but was the MVP conversation inflated because of their record? Because they had an amazing defense, right? He's not top 10 in QB rating. He's not top 10 in QB passing yards. He's not top 10 in QB touchdowns. So is he truly the MVP? Is he? Wow, it's a deep conversation.
Well, we can talk about it. Listen, so I will say this, and you brought it up, and it's next year. And next year's different. Burrow's back healthy. You know, they might lose T. Higgins. We don't know. We know. Look, I like Joe Shiesty. If you, I'm a fan of Joe Shiesty, and the reason I'm a fan of Joe Burrow is because there's something about Joe that reminds me of my boy Tom. And Pete said it best. Only been 2 quarterbacks stop Mahomes in the AFC Championship or in the Super Bowl. It's Tom Brady and Joe Burrow.
Joe Shiesty.
Yep. And if you go back to last year's AFC Championship, if it wasn't for that stupid call about him as he's going out, Chiefs might not even win that game. Burrow back-to-back Super Bowl. So I think next year you got to think, you got the Bengals looking like, hey, we can make a run. We still got Joe Shiesty. We don't know what the Steelers are going to look like. You know, do they go out and get a veteran quarterback, or do they try to pick it out again? They got a new OC. You know, we don't know what that's going to look like. Cleveland, we don't know. The Bills, we don't know what they're going to look like. Miami's another one. The Chargers just got Jim Harbaugh. So in the AFC, there's a lot of competition that on NFC side, we could be like, oh, they could make that run. But in the and then now you got Mahomes and company coming back. Rashid Rice is on his 2nd year. I think if they win, Kelsey's gone, but he might not be. We don't know.
So do I.
But and even if they don't win, I think he's gone. I think he's giving it his run that he's giving it. But we don't know what they're gonna look like. We already know that they do a good job of adjusting. You know what I'm saying? So it's Lamar. To me, this was the year for Lamar. You know, and I'm gonna tell you something. I expected your defense to be the bullies, and what I saw was like, yo, the Chiefs was the bullies. And when I looked at the Bills game, yo, the Bills was manhandling them at the line of scrimmage. Like the Bills
lost. I will say this though, I think they were the bullies, but you got to take into the fact that time of possession, the defense was on the field damn near the whole. They were tired, bro.
Yeah, but they only got 2 sacks on him. Finally, there wasn't no turnovers. You know, Mahomes will give you a interception. Kelsey's gonna fumble here and there because he does. But yo, I'm telling. The way Kelsey was playing, bro, it was like he was activated. You know what I mean? Like he went and he took a drink of something, bro, because he went out there like he was young again. And maybe
he did, bro.
You know, the Swift.
I don't know if you guys heard, but from what I heard, Roquan Smith was talking shit the whole week, and that's what got these guys fired up. That's what I heard, and that's why Kelsey came out that way. Like,
hey, you got to use whatever shit, man.
Yeah.
See, what I didn't like, and I go back to it, and my biggest thing is you're gonna throw a taunting flag on Zay Flowers, but you didn't give one to Kelsey when he's clearly talking shit to the guy.
Exactly.
That you got the penalty on a bogus ass bump.
Facts.
You know, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. Patrick Mahomes can take a hit because when your man's in him, hit him in the face by accident, trying to break. He basically hit him with a haymaker, bro. Mahomes got back up like he know how to take a punch, bro. I don't know.
Yeah,
that was.
And the crazy thing about that Zay Flowers unsportsmanlike. Before he got up and did that, old boy was holding him down. So he was mad that he caught the ball. Old boy was pressing down on him. And I'm like, bro, they can't just see these one-sided incidents. Like, bro, if I'm getting held down, he first took him up off of him and then threw the ball. But I'm like, so you saw that, but you didn't see this man holding this dude down? Like, come on, man.
well, Joe Burrow.
The taunting penalties is one of the dumbest freaking
It is,
penalties
bro.
in the freaking game right now. It's stupid. It's fucking
No
stupid.
emotion, especially in a playoff game. Like, this is an emotionally driven game.
Horrible.
You
Man,
gotta,
he caught that ball. Give him credit, my dude. Like even
yeah,
in basketball, you can't do it no more. You know what I'm saying? It's just to
yeah,
the point where you can't celebrate. Look, I'm not saying celebrate every first down. But when it's a crucial catch and you made it, you mossed them, you did something, bro. You got let them celebrate. If he not throwing no punches, he ain't putting up the middle finger, none of that.
yeah.
Let them do their thing. Going back to that one play you said where Lamar broke off for the run. You know what? I wondered why he stopped. He let up on the gas. He was ahead of the defense. So
Yep.
he was ready past the safeties in them.
Everybody
And
gone.
I don't know if he didn't want to get injured. I don't know if he was already nursing an injury that they didn't report. So to keep trying to push it, he was going to go down and hurt himself.
I
But
thought that too.
typically that's to the house because he was
Yeah,
in front. I think it was a quarterback draw or something like that. He went
yeah.
up and took it. But look, Lions, 49ers, Lions came out punching. I mean, give him that work. CJ Gardner-Johnson up there waving by the team at second quarter. 49ers going back to the Super Bowl. Was that on? Dude, how much blame do you put on Dan Campbell for that? I'll go with James first. Go ahead, bro.
I'm not gonna put none of the blame on Dan Campbell, man. Listen, for this reason, right? He got there being a gambler. He got there pressing the issue. He did what he knew that got him there. So obviously, yes, it's his fault. But if it goes a different way, then we're not talking about it. I think he got there being dangerous. They haven't had a playoff win since like 91 or some shit. This dude got him there, man. So hats off to him. But, it's just one of them things. Like we say, any given Sunday, 49ers had the experience, old Brock, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to prove himself, get that contract. So I'm not going to say I don't put no blame on him, but I say I applaud him trying to be that, that gamble and take some chances. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in his favor. It started working out in his favor until 49ers figured it out. But it was a couple decisions that he made that could have went either way. Because the field goal, we always say, take the points in the playoffs, dog. Like, you ain't got time to make up ground. Take the fucking points. You trying to blow somebody out in the second half, it ain't happening, bro. Like, take that field goal. You never know when you're going to need it. And, yeah, I think they had a 4th and 1 on like the fucking 13-yard line, and they didn't even kick the field goal. I'm like, bro, I'm taking that because you don't know if the game's going to come down to the wire. I need my field goal kicker with some momentum. Like, we say that with the Buffalo game, right? My man missed that, like, 31-yarder. Like, get your guys some rhythm. It's crazy. But, yeah, I'll put the default blame on Dan, but I think that's what got him there, being dangerous.
My bad, yo. The wife called me. She know.
Dan Campbell called you like, yo, don't be like.
He said, "Don't be talking shit about me, yo."
So, Pete, what's your take on it? And I'll tell you mine after.
I put it on Dan. I put it on Dan Campbell, yo. And we've had discussions about this, about when Brandon Staley got fired. I'll be the advocate for this shit. Not even just in the playoffs, bro. Take the fucking points. Because
always.
What did they lose by? They lost by 3. And he said he wanted to get the upper hand. But I'll ask you this. If the defense makes a stop on 4th down, who has the momentum there? The other team.
Mm-hmm.
So they stopped them on 4th down. Then they had that play to Ayuk that bounced off this dude's face mask.
That shit was wicked, man.
That was the change of the game. They had the momentum, and then Gibbs fumbles. Who had the momentum right there?
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, I get it. A touchdown is sexier than a field goal, and just the same way they don't convert on 4th down, they can miss a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I'm taking them points, especially in the playoffs. I'm taking them points because they lost by 3. It happened a couple of weeks ago in Dallas. They didn't get the 2-point conversion. They pushed them back, and then he went for it again. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What? And you want to have guts to go for it? All right, fine. and the players aren't going to throw him under the bus. They're not. Goff was like, no, we love it. All right. Ask the kicker how he feels, bro. You're not letting him rock. Let him contribute to a win because they were up 24-7. They could have been up 27-7. And that's a bigger hill for the 49ers to climb. All on Dan Campbell. And Josh Reynolds dropped the fourth. It's Josh Reynolds, bro. That's like your third string wide receiver. It wasn't like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Different story. But I put this all on Dan Campbell. He's instead of being he's being going for it is cool, but that's what got him there. That's what got him there. I get it. But at times he's been reckless and it cost him twice. The Dallas game and this game.
Hey, my bad. One more thing. You said an important thing again. How did your kicker feel when you don't even let him come out?
Yo,
like my confidence shook. Like, damn, this dude don't even trust me to kick a 15-yarder. Like,
you just want me to kick extra points and fucking kickoffs? Get the fuck out of here.
You want me to kick a 50-yarder, and when I miss it, the game's on me at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Now I put it on him, and you said it best, Pete. You could have went up 27-7. Now it's 3 scores, not just 2. You take the points all the time, especially in a game like that. I get it, like you said, it got him there, but I think at that time he was thinking as a player, not as a coach. You know, when you're a coach, you got to protect the players from doing dumb stuff. You know, if you ask any player out there, especially offense, especially wide receiver, or, you know, you tell Mahomes, yo, you're 4th and 80. You want to go for it? Yeah, let's go for it. You know, he think he's gonna make it. You got to
playing Madden or some shit.
Yeah, you got to protect them from themselves because a lot of times these guys, they're alphas, bro. Nobody's on that team thinking, man, I can't make 2. Mudd, I could make 2 yards. Gibbs, I could make 2 yards. Laporta, I could make 2 yards. St. Brown, I could make 2 yards. But you protect them, you take it because now you could have been going to the Super Bowl for the first time in the franchise's career since they did the merger. And you haven't even now you're going back to the drawing board, and here you are telling the team, "Oh well, this might have been the only chance we got."
Man,
he said that he was honest, and
they ain't going back next year. I can guarantee that. Shit.
But again, next year is different. Now Jalen's in a different situation. You know, these teams that picked up coaches, the Falcons got their guy. You know, it's a lot of different moving parts that next year could be very different. You know, We don't know, but to me it was crazy. I put it on them though. All right, Purdy, yo. Purdy got 2 comeback wins now. One last week and the one before. And this time he came back from double digits. So is he a game manager or is he actually a good quarterback? I'm gonna go with Pete first.
I think he's a good quarterback. Like, you can't and I think I kind of used this comparison before. I said, if you put Zach Wilson there, you think Zach Wilson is doing this with the 49ers? I don't think so. But do I think, bro, I'm not gonna just and I know there's a lot of talk about Purdy, like, oh, he's a game manager, he's not that special. Look, man, he's good enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL for a championship, an NFC championship team that's in the Super Bowl. So I got no shade on this dude. I don't care about his weapons. Yeah, he got great weapons. That's not his fault. Look, the front office did their job, man. That's what that is. Like, they got studs, and that means they did their job, and they got this guy, the last pick in the draft, and he's playing great. Regardless of I don't care about that. Like, not his fault, and he shouldn't be getting shit about it. But do I think he's a good quarterback? I really do. Yep.
James?
Yeah, I think he's both. I think he's a game manager and a great quarterback because, as we talked about before, I think people took Cam's, what he said out of context. The game manager does not mean you're not a good quarterback. It means that you do enough to get the game won, and he does that. Bro, it's no knock to that. Obviously, it's got him here, so it's no knock to it. What changed it for me to actually like, yo, this dude really good. Last game, bro. He could have slid on a couple of them plays, man. He took it, put his head down, got a couple first downs, and was like, you know what? This will put you being great when you need to be. You don't have to make the highlight play every time. And I think he's figured that out. Like, hey, I don't got to throw a bomb every play to be great and get us to the big game. You take what the defense gives, you don't turn the ball over, and you make it happen. And man, say what you want about the dude, he about to get a paycheck. He's got them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's going to be a topic we definitely discuss a little further. He did what Lamar should have did, to be honest.
Exactly.
If we're being honest, he did what Lamar should have did. Yeah, Dan
Yep.
Campbell screwed that up by not going for the field goals. But you give a person a team, it goes back to Super Bowl 51. Shanahan had them. Dan Quinn had the Patriots where he needed them. And instead of running the ball and killing clock, they want to keep throwing and getting out of field goal range, and you screwed up. So yeah,
Mhm.
every win takes a little bit of luck to it, if you think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a pass going your way, a call going your way, the helmet catch in 2007. You know what I'm saying? Every championship or every game has a piece of luck that goes with it. And you said something about the weapons. We don't say that about Jalen Hurts with
Hmm.
A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. You know, we didn't say that about Patrick Mahomes when he had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey. You know, we don't say that about Burrow, and he got Higgins, my man Chase, and was the Tyler Boyd. You know,
Hmm.
we only bring that up when it matters to the quarterback you trying to discredit.
Yeah.
And to me, okay, Mahomes was, in my opinion, Mahomes been a game manager the last 2 games.
Yep.
Especially last game. Your defense kept them to 0 points in the second half. He just
Yep.
turned the ball over. He didn't give you a second opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So why we not having, it was somebody that said this on one of the talk shows. They said if Mahomes would have did what Purdy did during this game to win the game, it would have broke the internet. They would have been talking crazy about it.
That's a fact.
But because it's him, they don't talk about the runs he scrambled out for 15 yards to convert to a first down. You know what I'm saying? He's not even a scrambling quarterback.
And I think, my bad, I think we can relate it to something like a traditional point guard, right? Where everybody wants you to score 50 points. As a point guard, you don't got to do that. Your job is to facilitate. And everybody wants that quarterback to be a superstar athlete. Like, no, bro, you got positions for a reason. This dude's a quarterback. He can scramble, but that's not his job. He passes the ball, maintains, pocket presence. Yeah, like everybody wants that superstar when traditionally the quarterback role is to get that ball downfield, don't turn it over, and make sure your guys are in rhythm. So when there's a need for a big play, they ready. And I think you brought that up earlier, Frank. Man, they trust this dude. They got a chemistry out there. You can see it. The 49ers really trust Purdy to do his thing, man. And they back him. Like that dude got a solid backing from that 49ers team.
They listen, I'm telling you, I would love to have seen them play a full NFC championship last year.
Yep.
They could have beat the Eagles last year. This kid,
Yep.
this about him, that he doesn't. I don't know if he does get rattled. We've seen him get rattled, so I don't want to say that, but he believes in himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Nick Bosa came to him in the locker room and was kind of like, "Did you know you're gonna play the way you play?" And he said, "I still think I could do better."
Mm-hmm.
I think that says a lot about where his mindset is at. Like, it's not, I might be undersized and I might not have the biggest hands, or I might not, but don't count me out. You know what I'm saying? Because this is twice now, 2 NFC championships. He won one, he's won a Super Bowl. And I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I mean, we know not to count the Chiefs out, but the 49ers defense can match up. And I really don't know the weapons that the 49ers have with McCaffrey. You got Mitchell too that nobody talks about. You got
Yeah.
you got Ayuk, you got Debo, you got Jennings every now and then makes the catch you need to make. I mean, that's heavy. And it's really his game to lose, I think, Um
And they got like we talked about it. Kansas City has the second worst rushing defense. Guess what's gonna happen? McCaffrey about to eat their ass up.
and
Pause.
deep out the backfield, you know what I'm saying? It's we don't know, but we that's what we think is gonna happen. We thought the Ravens
Yeah.
run the ball too, and they
They
did.
didn't even run it though.
I think Kyle Shanahan is not gonna make the same mistake twice.
Yeah.
They have history. That defense though, I think one of the biggest things for the 49ers that changed their defense too is Chase Young. They went
Yeah.
Young on the other side. Now you got Bosa on one side, Fred
Mm-hmm.
Warner. I gotta support my Hispanic brother. You know what I'm saying? He's out there doing his thing. Um, but yeah, man. So moving back to Patrick Mahomes, man. 6 AFC championships in a row. 4th Super Bowl appearance. Are we seeing the next great one, or is it too soon to say that? Pete.
Yeah, I think we witnessed it already. Look, his rookie year, what was it? 50 touchdowns. Like he came out guns blazing. I'm sorry, not his rookie year. First full year starting, because his rookie year he sat, but his first year starting, he knocked out the box. He had, look, we talking about Purdy and his weapons. He had Kelsey, he had Tyreek Hill, he had Kareem Hunt. So he was good when he came out, and that's why, and I know a lot, I can hear it in some of your voices that you guys are sick of the over exposure on Mahomes, but he's the darling of the league right now. I don't think it's anybody else. You can see by all the commercials he's got, and this is what we're talking about: 6 championships in a row, 4th Super Bowl. If you win, that's gonna take you even higher. That's the reason. Look, I said it before. We seen Mahomes. Stafford doing a lot of the stuff that Mahomes is doing, but Stafford was in Detroit on shitty teams. Mahomes is winning. Everything's better when you're winning, bro. So are we and we're gonna get into this later, but like the first time he's played on the road in the playoffs, and look, back in the Super Bowl, it was nothing, like it wasn't a big deal. So I'm not gonna put him up there with Brady. Brady he got 7, right?
Yeah.
He's not close to 7, but he's in the mix, man. Like they say, you got to be in it to win it, and he's always in it.
Yeah. He's I would say what I'm gonna say after James goes. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah, man. Like, listen, Brady played damn near 20 seasons?
23.
23. Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, this dude is in his what, 7th? Is Mahomes 7th?
6. Well, 6 starting.
No, 7. Yeah, but 6 starting. Yeah,
right. So 7 seasons in, this dude's resume is like some people's career, bro. Come on now. Like, yeah, I'm putting him up there. And if, like we just said, if he wins this year, come on, man. Like, what you gonna say about this dude? Like, come on. Like, yeah, I'm gonna say I don't even like this dude. One, based off the little antics and a little fucking spoiled bratty ways, just like a lot of people say about LeBron. But when you look at the stats, it's hard to deny anything that this dude has done, man. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. That dude is up there, bro.
So I don't, a lot of people think I don't like the dude. I don't have a problem with it. And I'm
one of those people.
You one of those people?
I don't like that motherfucker.
It's I don't have a problem with Mahomes. I have the problem with the supporters, right? And I have a problem with the comparison. Okay. And here's why I have the problem with the comparison. Aaron Rodgers only won 1 ring. And they were saying if he wins 2, he's up there with Brady. Not happening. Peyton Manning, as great as he was in the regular season, I don't think he was up there with Brady. But they never once Brady had, I think, 4 rings, they stopped comparing. But even
you can't.
Just when Brady had 4, they had a comparison, My son said something the other day, and he was right. He said, why can't Brady be Brady and Mahomes just be Mahomes?
That's true.
Right? The difference between the LeBron and Jordan conversation is we never saw them play each other. You know what I'm saying? We never saw them play each other. If Jordan and LeBron would have played and Jordan would have beat him in 6 and won a championship, then that debate is done. Jordan's better. We've seen Mahomes lose to Brady twice now. AFC championship to go, and Brady won it that year. And then in the Super Bowl with the Bucs, he beat him twice. There's no comparison to me. If you beat me twice in 2 games that matter and prevent me from hosting the Lombardi, there's nothing to talk about. You beat me. You can never surpass me because I beat you when it mattered. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Now, is he great? The dude is phenomenal. And what I love about Mahomes, because I saw him on the quarterback on Netflix, that's what got me to like him. The cat has a lot of what it takes to be great. What Brady does, what Peyton does, what these guys do, study tape, offseason they're practicing, they're maturing. I put something in the chat that Nick Wright put out when he said when the game changed for him was like last year. But before that, the game changed. Mahomes started taking what the defense was giving him, not making stuff happen. When he was trying to make stuff happen, he was turning the ball over. Then he smartened up and said, okay, if y'all gonna give me the underneath stuff, I'm gonna take the underneath stuff. If you're gonna give me the over the top, I'm taking over the top. I'm gonna know when to go down. I'm gonna know when to throw the ball away. He's maturing a lot faster than some of these quarterbacks. And I think that's the difference between him and the rest of them, except my man Joe Shiesty. Everybody else, I think it's like they get in front of him and they forget. It's like when Mugs make Chief, right? They make Chief, they forget everything they learned in the last career. All of a sudden, now you forgot what you learned over the last 10, 15 years, whatever time you got in. It's like when they get there. But Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, if people are going to argue Brady and Belichick, you might want to start arguing Andy Reid or Mahomes, because Reid was not winning chips until he Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we remember him, the NFC East, 4 NFC championships, 1 Super Bowl. Who he lost to? Belichick. He gets over there. Smith couldn't get him over the hump. AFC championship, who he lost to? Belichick. But he didn't start getting to those Super Bowls until Patrick Mahomes got there. And to me, that's the X factor. That's going to be his X factor. I don't know if he would have been Mahomes if he would have went to the Jets first, if he would have went to a team with no weapons and nothing to offer and he had to elevate it. But, I mean, I think if you put Mahomes in the Bills with Diggs and them, they winning something. You know what I'm saying? I think they're winning because the difference between him and Allen is he takes care of the ball. He takes care of the ball. So speaking of the Chiefs and Mahomes, great postseason run, like you said, Pete. He's on the road. He's doing it. The numbers are good because he's protecting the ball. But like you said earlier, James, he's not doing anything crazy. He's just not losing the games. Do you feel like they faced any adversity in the playoffs? James, you
go. I'd say no. You talking about in any year or just this year?
This year.
I'd say no. Because like we talked about before, the expectation wasn't on Mahomes. Nobody was like, oh shit, if Mahomes don't win. Nobody, like, it was his to take. Like, he had nothing to lose. Like, he's been there. Like we said, his resume is already kind of stacked up, and we had Purdy, MVP candidate, Lamar. So I don't think they face adversity. I just think they've been battle tested already. They know how to get there now. It comes easier when you've been tested. Lamar hadn't been tested yet. We lost to the first round against what was it? Houston or Tennessee?
This year?
No, not this year. Year before.
It was the Bengals, wasn't it?
The Bengals. I'm talking about the year before that. When they rested them the last 2 weeks of the season, we lost to who the hell did we lose to?
Was it Tennessee or?
It was Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee. Like, so he hadn't gotten to that point where they're like, yo, this year he got to that point. It's like, yo, now you've been tested. Now you know what it's like. So Mahomes has been tested. He's faced the GOAT. Like, bro, if I go up against the GOAT twice and I know what it takes now, he looking across the field like this dude ain't the GOAT. He's got that confidence. So I don't think they've been tested this year. I think they've been tested in the past that prepared them for stuff like this year. When they were 9 and what was their record in the regular season? 10-7.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. I don't.
It was like
it was the third seed.
Yeah, it was like nobody's looking like, damn, watch out for the Chiefs. But you always got to keep that thing in the back of your head, like, yo, this fucking Patty Mahomes, bro. Come playoff time, this dude turned into something else. So, and I think they used that into their favor too. People doubting them, like, oh shit, like the third seed, and then they get into that, we've been here mentality, like, yeah, this is easy. It's easy work. So I don't think they've been tested this season, but I think over the past 5-6 years, they understand what it takes to win in the playoffs. And while others take it for granted, thinking it's going to be a walk, they like, oh shit, we ran into Patty Mahomes.
Yeah. Pete?
So I'm the one who put this one as a topic, and I'll tell you why, and then I'll explain why I feel that they have. So I talked to Frank, and I'm like, yo, I don't listen to FS1 because I think they're all full of shit. But at work today, I had it in my ear, I had iHeartRadio, so I'm listening to the herd, and J-Mac says, because he's trying to pitch Purdy as this otherworldly QB, and we all agree that he's good, but he's not fucking Josh Allen or any of these guys, top tier quarterback. So he's trying to push this narrative, and he's like, yeah, Mahomes hasn't faced any adversity. Purdy got 2 game-winning comebacks, and it's like, I believe that, and this is why I brought it up. I do, but even regardless of Mahomes' resume, and he's been there before, I believe they have, because all they've been talking about this year is that they're not the same. All the drops that they've been, Kelsey's been dropping the ball of all people. Kadarius Toney is a fucking mess. They don't even, they're lying to keep him out of the fucking lineup.
Yep, lying about his injuries and shit, man. Shit crazy.
So,
man.
And then for the first time, they got to go on the road. And what do? They beat the 2nd seed who was supposed to beat them, and they beat the number 1 seed who was supposed to beat them. That's why I brought this up, because I'm like, yo, this dude is just talking out his ass. Again, like always. Do I feel he's brought up? Are they going through adversity? Have they faced it in these playoffs? Yes. And for those reasons. The drops, they said Kelsey is washed. He's thinking too much about after football. And then look, they're going to go on the road for the first time. And look, against the 1st seed and the 2nd seed, they beat them both.
That's a good point, Pete.
I am going to say the only adversity was on the road. And I'm going to tell you why. Fuck, J-Mac's a Jets fan, bro. So let's just put that out there.
Whack, yo. That dude sucks, bro.
Let's leave that where it's at, right? I like the herd, right? But he also said Patrick Mahomes the greatest quarterback he's watched play. And then when he had Brady on there, he called Brady the greatest quarterback of all time. So I can't go with that. Pick and choose, my man. Pick and choose. But I'm going to tell you why I don't think there was adversity. They have chemistry, bro. They have that continuity. And somebody said it, all you got to do is get into the game. Get to the dance. And once you're in there, it's a new season, new game. And out of all the people playing the last 3 weeks, they were the most experienced when it came to what it's going to take to go to the next game. And everything fell in their lap, right? Let's take Buffalo lost a lot of defensive players the game prior to go to that against them. So they played 3rd-string middle linebackers in their favor. Not the same defense. Allen and Diggs really ain't Diggs is dropping passes. It's like role reversal, right? It's like they touched them and now they got the drop season, we catching everything. Then they go to Baltimore, and Baltimore didn't plan right. They played different. So they just said, okay, you're not gonna run the ball? Perfect. Thank you. You're helping us out, right? Patty's not gonna do nothing stupid to give the game away. And being that there's no pressure, because they're not going back and forth in a scoring game. So they just had a lead and maintained it. So now I didn't gotta do nothing to jeopardize the game. Who threw the picks? Strip sack fumble? Lamar. Who threw the pick? Lamar. Who fumbled? Zay Flowers. You know what I'm saying? It was just everything fell. So I don't think they faced adversity only because they're just that good. You know what I'm saying? We've seen this before. This is not new. We've seen it before, especially in the AFC. How many times the Patriots went to the AFC Championship and people thought they shouldn't have even been there in the first place? You know what I'm saying? There was times, hey, they had receivers that wasn't even above 6 feet tall. They had Edelman, Amendola, Deion Branch, and Woodhead. They were all, and Woodhead was a running back, all 5'9", 5'10", and went to the playoffs. I think they went to the AFC Championship and lost. So if you could do it with that, and that's not what and now you got Patty with Kelsey, and you got all this other stuff and the experience, and Andy Reid. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I don't agree with his take that Purdy faced more adversity. No, I believe the 49ers messed up early. The defense gave up too much. And if it wasn't for Dan Campbell being aggressive, they would have lost that game, because, like you said, 3 to 6 points, that puts you in a 2 to 3 score drive. You got to score 3 times, and you didn't have the time. You didn't have the time on the clock to do it. You would have been going home. You know what I'm saying? So, no. And then the week before that, who they played? The
Packers.
The Packers. It came down to Jordan Love throwing a pick. Again, opportunity. It just happened. If you go without that, hey, the Packers might have been winning. They would have been out in the division round. You know what I'm saying? So I don't agree with the whole Purdy thing. I do give Purdy credit, but there was a lot of opportunity that went their way, a lot of chance and luck. The same with the Chiefs. You know, who thought the Ravens, the #1 rushing team offense in the league, was only going to run the ball 11 times against the second worst rushing defense? Come on, who would have thought that? Nobody.
That
No,
hurt, man. Just to hear you say it again, bro.
you know what I'm saying? So I don't think he faced adversity. I think Mahomes been there before 6 times. The only adversity he faced was he went on the road. And if he wins it in 2 weeks, it just adds to his allure. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh wow, this time he proved I don't need home field advantage. I have to go on the road and do it. You know, you got to think the Patriots didn't do that until they beat Mahomes and company in Arrowhead in overtime to go play the Rams for the Super Bowl 53. Up until that time, Brady pretty much was home every season when he went to the Super Bowl. And that was the question with Brady at 40. Mahomes is answering it at what, 26, 27, if that?
Good gracious.
You know, so I don't think so. Commanders to Dan Quinn. I'm gonna start with NFC East. Pete, what you think about that, bro?
They can only go up, and look, I'm a Giants fan, bro. Love the Giants, and shitty. This is one of the valleys that we're in right now, and up until last year, the Eagles became like really like the fans are just like really like unbearable, yo. You would have thought the Eagles won the Super Bowl the way they were acting this year, yo. It's like, yo, y'all have one great year, like, and it's always been the Cowboys for me. The team I'd never give a shit about is Washington.
Right.
Yo, the Giants sucked this year and swept them, so we can only go up for Washington. They got the second pick in the draft. They're gonna get a quarterback. They're gonna get their quarterback of the future. I don't know who it is and how they pan out. Who knows? But and then Dan Quinn, he took a team to the Super Bowl. So he's got experience. I think he's a legit coach. And again, they can only go up from where they're at.
James?
Oh yeah, same thing, man. Like, what are our expectations of the fucking Washington Commanders? Like, even if no matter who they get, I think no matter who they get, we're gonna be looking like, okay, like what the fuck,
Yeah, exactly.
like so yeah. They've been in the experimental stage for years. Like, I just think they curse, man. Like, fuck. Like, yeah, they can only I ain't gonna say get better. They can only experiment enough to try to gain some momentum because, like we said, you got to build a culture first. If you don't build a culture, right, whoever you bring in it's not gonna matter. Like a lot of these organizations that been there multiple times, they have a culture of winning, a culture of coaching, like defensive minded. Like we don't even know the identity of the Washington Commanders, bro. So Dan Quinn took a leap. I think he took a gamble going over there, but it can only get better. It can only. It's not gonna hurt them because nothing can hurt them. They're cursed, but uh, I think, I think it'll do some good for them, man. They need a good front office culture and some good, you know, game culture. Like we don't know them for anything. You know what I'm saying? Even certain teams that lose, we kind of like, hey, they great defense over there. They got defensive minded coaching staff. We don't know the culture of the Washington Commanders.
They I just I think it's good for him. As far as the organization go, I don't know yet because new owners, right? They took over like last year, the year before.
Yep.
They're trying to make a statement, just like the Waltons over there and the Walmart owners and um
Denver.
in Denver. So I
Yep.
know what it's gonna look like. He did have Kyle Shanahan when he went to the Super Bowl with the Falcons. So I think
Mm-hmm.
his I think what he needs is a good OC. He has a good offensive coordinator, which Eric Bieniemy's still there. And, we haven't heard much about him since he got there. Remember, there was that whole debate whether it was Andy Reid or him, and Shady McCoy shitted on him
Yep.
and said,
Mm-hmm.
oh, he didn't make no calls. He was the running backs guy. It was all Andy Reid. Bieniemy's gone, and look, they're back in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
playing for one. So it probably was Andy Reid the whole time. I just don't know with a team that has to rebuild, how much rope are you giving this man before he hangs himself?
Exactly.
I'm
Yep.
tired of seeing people give a motherfucker like a year and that's it, or 2 years.
Exactly.
It took Saban 3 years in Alabama to get it going where it's going. Andy Reid just happened to land with the Chiefs and was missing a few pieces and made it work, and it was going to the next level. Um, but we've seen people, like you said, at front office, certain things, if they don't get the right people in place, this is not going to turn around right away.
Mm-hmm.
Are they willing to wait? I don't know. I don't know. Humphreys made a statement.
Yeah.
He was like the greatest coach of all time. Didn't get picked up for 6 different positions, head coaching positions. We could put that debate to rest. What's your take on it, James?
I mean, I think it's an incredible statement, man. Like it just once again, man, the pieces got to fit to the puzzle, man. You could be a great piece to a puzzle that don't have the rest of the pieces. So it's just one of those things where it's sad, but it's the reality of football these days, man. Um, even with the like Washington Commanders, how long do you allow something to play out before you realize that it's either good or bad? So I don't know, man. That's a tough one, man.
Pete?
I all young coaches. The Ravens coach, that the defensive coordinator went to Seattle. He's the young right immediately the youngest coach in the league right now. Raheem Morris went to Atlanta. You see a lot of it seems they're going, a lot of the teams are going towards youth.
Yo.
Younger guys. I mean, and Belichick, he's a legend. Regardless of the debate of Brady, Belichick, whoever was more responsible, he still has 6 rings. He still has 2 with the Giants where he's the defensive coordinator. He's a legend in this game, but the time may have passed him by, because if he didn't get Commanders or Atlanta, and then Harbaugh came in and took Harbaugh's riding the wave though right now. Harbaugh just won in college. This was the time to get Harbaugh, and they got him. They got the quarterback. They got the coach. I don't think it would have been the same thing had it been Belichick.
Mm-mm.
His resume is great, but I think it wasn't getting him anywhere.
Yeah.
I think first of all, I think it's disrespectful in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it just goes back to society as a whole when these young boys don't respect the old heads, right?
Yep.
Don't let 3 seasons fool you on what they did for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say he can't draft when he drafted Brady. He picked Brady 6th round, 199. He picked Gronk. He picked Edelman 6th, 7th round. He went and got Amendola, who was undrafted and was on the Rams. Chris Hogan, he went and got him. James White, I don't even know what school he went to, and probably one of the best pass catching running backs in the league when he played. Consistency was there, For you to say that, how many rings you have, bro?
Mm-hmm.
What legacy have you left in football for us to talk about? He's defense, right? He's a DB or he's a safety.
Who's that?
Humphreys.
He's a corner. Yeah, he's a cornerback.
Yeah, he a corner.
You ain't Ty Law. You ain't. There's a lot of cats out there that you ain't. You ain't Woodson. You ain't none of these dudes. And to me, but that's society today. People want to.
Exactly. That's what I'm about to say.
But I read somewhere that Belichick was fine with taking the year off. He was fine with looking at the landscape. Something you said, Pete, is time passed them by, and I think sometimes you got to step away from the game, reset, and go back into it. McCarthy was in the basement doing something when he got called for the job, and look, man, he in the playoffs, he made that a little better.
Same with Flacco.
Yep. Flacco was in the house chilling. So there were a lot of defensive coordinators too as head coaches.
Yep.
When Morris, Gerard Mayo, the dude from the Ravens that went over to
Yep.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think out of the 6 positions, they went 4 or 5 defensive coaches for head coach positions, and only 1 offensive coach. The Herd was talking about it, but I don't take it a knock on. He didn't get picked up again. You said it. Age. He's 72
Yeah.
years old. Do I want to go with a guy that's 72 and maybe gave me 2 to 3 more years?
Yeah.
And a team like the Redskins, the Commanders, you need about 2 to 3 more years to turn that around.
Exactly.
Only team that I thought was ready to poised to go and make that run is the Chargers. And in
Yeah.
my opinion, they got the best coach, an offensive minded head coach who was a quarterback in the league, who played for the Rams at one point, or the Chargers. He played for the
Chargers.
at one point, and now he's coming and he got Herbo, he got Keenan Allen, he got these weapons, the defense. Hell, he might trade some stuff away to get some more what you call it, picks in and get a younger team there to play. So I think
Yeah.
I think people just disrespectful, man. Like you say, he's a legend. Belichick's an historian of the game. He loves history. Like I said, when we beat the Rams in 53, Super Bowl 53, he was using formations from the 50s that nobody knew how to stop. And
And
that
we talked about it. We talked about it last time, man.
yeah,
It sucks that greatness is overlooked based on the microwave effect, right? Coaches were allowed to, take over a program and give them some time. Like nobody wants that no more. They want that microwave effect. If you don't win it in 2 years, they're like, oh, he's trash. Like what? Like bro, like come on, these dudes are great coaches, and with that trickles down to the players now. They get mad 2 years, they ain't done nothing, and they thinking they owe the world. Like I want out, I want to be traded. Like bro, the grass is green where you water it, baby. It ain't green on the other side. It's
yeah.
green where you take care of it at. So yeah, it sucks, man. Because like we said before, man, this dude, I would hate to see him come back and like kind of like a Phil Jackson, man, where he took over the Knicks. It just started looking like, oh, now the legacy that he had when he built up the Bulls and left and came back, they like shit on Phil now. Like he was one of the worst GMs, worst coaches. I'm like, right, Belichick, I wish he would have just bowed out, not even considered himself for coaching anymore. Like, hey, I'm gonna bow down while the game respects me. Now you got these younger folks who discredit you coming on podcasts or talk shows talking crazy. Like, yeah, man, that's like you said, it's disrespectful to one of the guys who did it at a high level for the longest, dog.
It's the thing is, and we're gonna close it up after this, is sometimes we don't know how to let go.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how to just let go. You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking from my career, my experience. At first, I wasn't ready to go. And then something happened about a year and a half before I went to retire, before I hit my higher tenure, and I said, yo, I'm out. I'm done. It wasn't fun anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we don't see the signs. We don't pay attention to it because we believe we can still do it. We believe that we still got it and we want to keep pushing, but really we don't. And times change and we just don't want to acknowledge it. And when I
That's
was
a gift for the curse, though. That's a
it,
gift for the curse to all the greats, right? Like
yeah.
when you're that passionate about it, in the back of your mind, it never leaves. Like Jordan, right? They talk about his Wizards years. Like, bro, that's passion, dog.
Mhm.
And we shouldn't discredit somebody for wanting to keep going because it's something that they love to do. But like you said, sometimes you got to know and be like, you know what? I love it, but I know that this game has changed and it's time to move on, bro. All the greats do that shit, man.
When you have a level, when you have give a fuck, that's what
Yep.
I call it. Give a fuck. You can't be taught give a fuck. I don't give a damn who you are. I don't care where you go. You either got it or you don't. You either gonna be great or you're not. That give a fuck is what's gonna get you up in the morning, Pete, when you got the flu and go to work. You know what I'm saying, James? When you got to make sure you got to go check the gas and shit and make sure
Facts.
it's happening. Oh, and I got to go do turnover. I got to tell. It's certain things that happen, and these coaches, these greats, the greats have it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And they just don't know how to let that go, man. With that being said,
Yeah.
I
One more thing
what's up?
on this Belichick thing. You look at, I they could there's a possibility that they look at it like, you know what? Yeah, he's in his 70s. Do we pass on possibly getting our Mike Tomlin, who's been there for
Mhm.
17 years, but just to get the Belichick name and maybe get him passing the wins record? So, or do we just like the Commanders, new ownership? new GM who they got from San Francisco, I believe. Let's build something instead of just trying to, name drop and just hire Belichick, because that's what he is. He may be gone in 2 years, and we passed on this guy who may be here, who may build something for the next 17, 20 years, like a Tomlin. So possibility, I don't know.
No, I agree with you. And I think that's really what it boils down to. I think there's a few things that come into play, right? Is age, what the vision of the team is, the owner, where he sees or she sees for themselves, and then the person. Can I work with him? Am I willing to put up with him? I'm listening to his book, and I'm at to the part where they're talking about him and Parcells, how they wasn't getting along on the Giants. You know what I'm saying? And Parcells was the type of person, he'll curse anybody out at any time and yell at them, and Belichick took the brunt of that. But then when you turn around, Belichick was quick to check people too. So as you do what you right, or what you see, I don't know if people want to deal with that. It's like, right, look, man, you got 6 as a head coach, 2 as a defensive coordinator. You're a genius when it comes down to this. Nobody's questioning that. But I don't know if I want to put up with you right now. I don't know if I want to deal with this. And there's no guarantee if you're bringing me championships. You know what I'm saying? There was a book I listened to where they said that Robert Kraft was like, "Oh, I got an owner." He was at an owners meeting. He had to leave early because he's like, "I had a meeting with this asshole," and he was talking about Belichick. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if even Robert Kraft, who I felt stayed out of your business until he had to interject, sometimes had issues. It's one of those things you're gonna have to. Not everybody's gonna want to eat that shit, man. So I kind of agree with Pete too. It's like I'm not gonna pass up having a young boy come in here and lead these young men and relate to them. That's another thing, whether being relatable to these young guys and reaching them. You can't come in there with the what the fuck and cursing out or yelling or belittling them at practice or what you missed that tackle. You know, you do that now, these guys shut down. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to go to HR and leave. You know what I mean? Like they just signed a contract and now they
That's
want
a fact, man.
So I don't know. I think that it is what it is. I hope he takes this year, and I hope if he doesn't come back, I'm fine with it. It is.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna take away what you accomplished at the end of the day. Like kind of we talking about Mahomes. What Mahomes did in 6 years, you got to think what you did for 20 years in one team, we might not see again. We might not see it again. We're seeing a lot now with the Chiefs, but that's right now.
Yeah.
That's
Who
not
knows how that's gonna go? Yeah.
leaves and other people. Wherever Mahomes gets hurt. Right now he hasn't had a major injury. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna start with James. Go ahead and close us out, bro. Anything you want to say?
No, man. I'm still healing. The Ravens hurt me bad, bro. I had Julio make a set of Ravens coins, dog, and I was ready for the Super Bowl, man. But yeah. Um, One thing I did want to, I'm sorry, man. I hate to drag it on. We elected to take the ball to start the game too at home with the best defense. I didn't get that either, but I'm off it, man. Yeah, man. Blessing. Always get to chop it up, pick the brains of the goats, man. And look, we got a week bye week to get back and talk about football again. But I'm excited for the San Fran and Kansas City. And yeah, the momentum is good going into the postseason, man.
Pete?
Yo, look forward to this every week. Like James just said, chop it up. Just talk about football. No dumb shit like who's upset about Taylor Swift being at the game and shit like that. So this is looking forward to it every week, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for putting me on, Frank, and see y'all next week.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's always a pleasure. June wasn't here. Get better. I'm seeing tomorrow for the play call. Yeah, this is definitely a breath of fresh air. You know what I'm saying? And I've been recording a podcast since 2020, and what we got here is dope. It's special. It reminds me when we started the play call, how we were putting stuff out first, and it's just that we don't have the views to get us there. But a lot of stuff we talk about, the next day I'm watching, ESPN or FS1 or whatever, and I'm seeing them talk about it. So, it's another pleasure, man. I enjoy it. And I look forward to next week talking about the Super Bowl, what we think is going to be the next move, and stuff like that. So tune in, like, subscribe, share, comment, leave us a note, and continue to follow Offsides Podcast. Thanks. Peace.